Okay, full disclosure, I'm like feeling really proud right now, but I'll get to that in a second. Let's just say that my low is the fact that I had an appointment yesterday, so I had to miss this thing that I'm legitimately proud of. But my high is I got to be with my mom and dad. That was really cool. And my act of kindness was. That's always I always forget my act of kindness. I always know I do one thing. I actually held the door for my folks a couple of times when we were all together. So that was very nice. So I gotta say this right now. Good morning. Happy hump day, everybody. I am just so proud of my two nephews right now. Because yesterday, they had their very first soccer practice. I mean, I'll never forget because my father and I were meeting up with my mom, and my mom had told us that, my nephews are going to have their first soccer practice. And I'm like, wow, that's great. My father is like a little bit on the skeptical side, where he's like, they're only 2 years old. That's too young. Which, 2 years old is very young. But believe it or not, some of the best athletes of the world pretty much start playing their specific sport at that age. Really and truly, they do. Like, I know back when I was in high school and I wrestled, a lot of wrestlers start at that age. I was incredibly late to the party myself. Yeah, I didn't really start getting into it and start getting good until it was already too late. Oh, I'll say levy. But anyway, this is soccer. This doesn't, keep in mind, like, I didn't really play much soccer. It just really didn't really, interest me very much. But over the years, I've gotten to learn more and more that soccer is the most played sport on the planet. Like, every single country on earth plays soccer. Or they probably call it the original football, but whatever you call it, this is the most played sport in the world. It is highly celebrated, everywhere. Especially when every 3 years, we have the World Cup. Which actually always did kind of bother me, because, like, I can never really understand why, like, events like the World Cup or the Olympics take place every, like, so many years. I mean, wouldn't it be a much stronger narrative for anyone that you're rooting for if you saw them, like, every year at this event rather than every, couple of years? I mean, I kind of get why they do that because, 3 years for the World Cup and 4 years for the Olympics. I just realized, like, every 12 years you're going to get both the World Cup and the Olympics. Neat. But, because, every year more and more athletes are, getting older. Meanwhile, you have some athletes who are younger that are just starting to, hit the floor, if you will. Like, they are establishing themselves as, that next generation. And, we want to see that. I don't know, it just always sort of, like, bothered me. Like, we gotta wait that many years for, like, these events to happen? I mean, not for nothing, but 3 years just waiting for the World Cup is a long time. Which really puts things into perspective as just to how long I've been doing these videos. Yeah, this is year 5. Yeah, this is year 5 for me. Because all 2018, 19, 20, 21, yeah. This is year 5 for me. And again, if you've been paying attention to me for that long, then you know how long it's been. Now I just realized I can't think of a time when I don't make these videos. Whatever, I'm happy. I love doing this. But anyway, my nephews had their first soccer practice You know, I actually got like a little video of them both, doing their thing, trying to score their first goal. I mean, again, they're only 2 years old. They're not going to be in front of like a large, big crowd of like hundreds of people and like, they score a goal. You're like, goal! Yeah, yeah. Like, no, they're little kids. There's not going to be, I mean, the goal is, actually, hold on a second. The goal, I would say, is like maybe, like from here to like here. I'm giving you a brief generalization of how big the goal is. Like, again, and the goal is like made of like, plastic and maybe like some, cloth to cover the metal and plastic parts and like the net and stuff. Like, it's really not that hard. And it's not like these kids are like running at top speed or whatever. I mean, they're 2 years old. Some of these kids barely have a grasp on their motor skills. So, yes, by all accounts, I want to make one thing abundantly clear. Like, I'm extremely proud of my nephews, but again, I have to take it with a grain of salt because, I mean, they're only little kids. They're not going to do that much. They're just going to, like, maybe score a couple, like, goals and that's it. However, I did get videos of each of my nephews scoring their first goals. And that was really something special. And right away, after I saw both my nephews score their respective goals, I also had to remember, wait, it's this nephew and this nephew. Their personalities are much different. Because one of my nephews, he really is active. He is the wild child of my 3 nephews, of the 2 twins. This one is the wild child. Like, it was more like he ran to the ball and slowly kicked it, ran the ball, slowly kicked it, ran the ball, slowly kicked it. That's how he scored the goal. The other one, though, is really reserved, very subtle, quiet, and sort of takes things at his own pace. A couple times he actually almost picked up the ball. I'm like, hey, he could be a goalie. And as my parents and I were talking about this last night, my mom mentioned, like, you were a great goalie back when you did Little League Soccer. I'm like, here's the thing. Because I did Little League Soccer, obviously, when I was little. And full disclosure, I was a goalie, like, once. And my mom says, like, I was really good. I made, like, 1 save ever. And no kidding, all I did, one moment. I remember vividly. I'm standing in the goal, pretty much like this. Like, uniform on, shin guards, what have you. Obviously cleats on. And I was, like, not paying attention to, like, anything that was going on. And I did see, like, the ball coming, but I kind of was in that mentality, like, oh, I don't really care. So all I did was, like, pick up this leg. The ball hit, like, my shin guard, bounced out that way, and that was the save. Literally all I did. And funny enough, that was the only game that my soccer team won then. Hold on. Yeah, actually, another reason why I didn't really play soccer that much is because when I first did it, like, my soccer team won 1 game, and we lost all the rest of them. So I don't want to have to do that again. So there you go. That's why I didn't really play soccer anymore. I mean, yeah, and I think even then I sort of had, like, the whole depression thing going on where if, like, even one bad thing happens, it's really gonna, mentally hurt me a lot. And obviously losing, soccer, that's a big one. Because, especially with me, like, you hate rejection, you hate to lose, and when you do lose, you can't help but cry and act like a sore loser, and, I remember that vividly, and I don't want to repeat that. But it's something that I knew I had to, over time get over with, because, life is going to knock you down in everything. I mean, the biggest example I can think of is, 3 times I tried qualifying for the Boston Marathon, and 3 times something happened where I couldn't do it. I was devastated, so there you go. Or here's another example, my sophomore year of high school. I tried out for the football team and I didn't make it after all the hard work I put in. So when I tell you that life will knock you down in a way that really hurts, I'm not kidding. And don't get me wrong, right? It's stuff that you gotta learn to cope with over time, and stuff like that I put behind me. I mean, in the end, I just sort of came to the realization that, pouting about it isn't really gonna fix anything. All it's gonna do is make you wish more of what could have been. But it's in the past. There's nothing you can do to, undo the past. And yeah, we could go into the whole argument. Well, you can make a time machine. I'm not going to make a time machine. Okay? You never want to mess with time. It ain't good. Even if you think you can get away with it, you can't. What was I talking about again? Oh, right. My nephews played soccer for the first time yesterday. I am so proud of my nephews for playing soccer for the very first time. And here's the thing. I may not have played soccer a lot when I was little. My brother loved it. And from what I saw, those kids are a chip off their old man's block. And here's the kicker as well. They were playing soccer in the soccer fields where my brother and I played all those years ago. Yeah, right in Big Flats. They're still there. I mean, they've been there long before we were born. They're going to be there for many years to come. I mean, it's, if you don't know, it's like the community park area where there's like a whole bunch of like recreational places, a couple baseball diamonds, big areas where you can, play soccer, stuff like that. And they've been there for years. And they're pretty much not going anywhere from here on out. So there you go. I mean, why would they go anywhere? I just mentioned earlier that soccer is the most beloved and celebrated sport played all over the world. No one's ever going to stop, playing it. Man, now this actually reminds me. Back when I was in Trinity Poly and I was taking functional analysis and trigonometry, don't worry, there is a point to this, hold on. We were talking about investing in stocks, and my teacher had said, invest in beer, because no one's ever going to stop drinking it. If only you could invest stocks in soccer, because I just said, soccer is the most beloved sport played all around the world. No one is ever going to stop playing it. If you could find a way to invest stocks in soccer, you would be a very rich person. So there you go. Honestly, I mean, if I played soccer again, of course I'd probably like it. I don't know what position I would do. I mean, my mom did say I was a good goalie. Maybe I can do that. I mean, personally, as I got older and was more athletic and started doing more stuff, I did sort of feature myself more of like a power offensive position. Because remember, I was like a big guy. Like, I was well over 200 pounds. Like, I had power, but what I really lacked was speed. Unfortunately, now I have speed. I just don't have much power anymore. Honestly, the way I always thought it was, what would be the point of being bigger and stronger than anyone else if you can't touch them, you know? So, you know, get someone hard a bunch of times really, really fast, and that's just as effective as one mean punch, right? I don't know. Now I'm just speaking Dragon Ball Z logic. But anyway, to my twin nephews, your Uncle Nick loves you very much. He is super duper proud. Oh, I'm always going to be proud because I'm always going to love you. But I'm super proud that you tried something new for the first time ever. And you did fine. And I couldn't ask for anything more. So, yeah. But yeah. Like, favorite, check out the subscribe button, follow me, especially if you're I'm very home in this video for all of you guys watching the show for me. We have a wonderful, wonderful hot Wednesday. And remember, you guys want to talk to me here to lend you always your back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.